So we have created this database. Now, what if you want to make any changes here? What if you want to add a new table or modify one of the existing ones? Well, we can always come here and open these tables in the design mode and make any necessary changes. We can add a new column or rename one of these columns or drop them. That totally works, but it only works if you are the only person using this database. In other words, you can use this approach if you're working with a database on your machine and no one else is going to use it. You're using this database for your personal reasons. But in medium to large organizations, we often have multiple servers that simulate the production environment. The production environment is where our users access our applications or databases. So in addition to the production environment, we also have staging environment, which is very close to the production environment. We also have the testing environment that is used purely for testing. And we also have the development environment. Each environment has one or more servers. So anytime we developers want to make any changes to these databases, we should be able to replicate the same changes on other databases. So all these databases that we have in various environments are consistent. How do we do that? Well, back to our model. We start here. We make our changes and then synchronize this model with a database. Let me show you. So here in the enrollments table, I'm going to add a new column. So I've selected this, and here I'm going to add a column called coupon. Let's say this is the coupon that the student is going to use at the time of the enrollment. I'm going to use a varchar of 50 for consistency and leave this column as nullable because not everybody has access to a coupon at the time of enrollment. So this is the change I've made in this model. Now we go to the database menu on the top, and instead of selecting forward engineer, we select synchronize model. We use forward engineering when we don't have a database. So we take a model and we generate a new database, okay? Now that we have a database, we want to synchronize this database with our model. So we select synchronize model. And on this page, once again, we select our connection. So here I'm connecting to a database on my local machine. If I'm a developer in an organization, I have access to the testing environment, to the staging environment, and maybe the production environment. So here, instead of selecting this local instance connection, we can select a connection to a database in the testing environment, okay? Now, let's continue to the next step. We leave all the default settings as they are. So here, MySQL Workbench detected that we are working with this database, school. All right, so we select this. In the next step, it detects the tables that need to be updated. So because I updated the enrollments table, here we have this green arrow, but because the enrollments table is associated or related to the courses table, this table might be affected as well. So as you will see in a second, MySQL Workbench has to temporarily drop the relationship between these two tables to apply the necessary changes in the enrollments table. Now we have the same story between the courses and course tags tables. So because these two tables are related, MySQL Workbench has to temporarily drop the relationship between these two and then enable it again. So let's continue to the next step. In this script, you can see a bunch of alter table drop foreign key statements. These are used for dropping the relationships between our tables. Down below, you can see we have an alter table statement. Below that, we have add column coupon of type varchar 50. So first, these relationships are disabled. Then we add a new column to the enrollments table. And finally, we enable these relationships. All right, now, once again, we can immediately execute the script to see our changes. But a better approach is to save this script in our file system and then check this into a source control repository like Git. With this, we know exactly what changes we have made to our database, and we can replicate the same change to other databases. All we have to do is to execute that script on those database servers, okay? Now, in this demo, we don't want to worry about that. So I'm going to execute the script to synchronize my database with my model. Done. Now, back to our navigator panel. Let's refresh and take a look at the enrollments table. Now we have a new column called coupon.